humans, we are all energy. Your energy, our energy. Childhood visions were very much when I was falling asleep late at night, and I would see faces as my eyes were closing. Some of the faces were family members that had long passed, and I accepted those: grandfathers, aunties, uncles, maybe one or two friends from the past. The thing I couldn't get my head around is who were the faces, or who did the faces belong to that I didn't recognise. It's great having those visions, it's great having those images, but it's like having a letter with no address on it. You have to mail that letter to somebody somewhere, and it needs a name and address to go. Put it in the mailbox and send it. I was in the Air Force for 22 years, just over 22 years. In 2006-2007, I was over in Iraq and serving my country. I was on operational duty. And one particular day, I had some time off and I was reading a book. And in the sand, I saw something glistening. And as I looked at it, I actually thought it was a ring pull from a Coke can or something similar. As I moved it again, I noticed a small chain on the end of the ring. Connected to that was a small painted Dutch wooden clock. At that time, as I bent down to pick it up, I felt this all-consuming connection to a higher power, a connection to something far greater than I could ever possibly be in this lifetime. Almost as if somebody had put a duvet around me, a duvet of love. And I really felt subsumed in some way. I still can't describe it. And if you're a man and you've watched your child being born, the only way I can describe it is when you say, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to cry, and suddenly this emotion just overtakes you. That's the way I felt. And it was at that time I was looking at the painted Dutch wooden clock. I just felt the presence of my grandfather who passed when I was 10. But I just knew it was him, and I knew that was the presence of spirit entering my life for a significant period of time. As humans, we are all energy. Your energy, our energy, and it's often like tuning in a radio. The spirit world's on one frequency, we are on another, and sometimes I get lock on. It's like a perfect connection between my client, myself, and the spirit world. It is a three-way connection, and sometimes it's a bit like a signal that we can't quite lock onto, but we know it's there. So it's great having that ability, that knowledge or that wherewithal to understand spirit, and you can connect with them and work with them, but you still have to do something with that evidence.
Christine, can I work with you please, Christine? And was this an auntie of yours that used to take you on the pets?
Yes.
Thank you, okay. And did the house convert?
So,
Thank you very much indeed. So I know we're in the right place, okay?
There's a man just stood behind you, Robin, with his hand on your shoulder. Do you mind me asking, is your father in spirit?
yeah, I
Thank
knew
you.
it was coming through.
Do you mind, and I said the minute I walked in here, I've had this constant dry cough and this constant, I've got to say, phlegm on my chest here. Do you mind me asking, did your dad have
Exactly.
congestion?
Yes,
or
he had lung cancer.
Oh, don't tell me too much.
Sorry.
And guys, if you're watching, the guys have just got to say yes or no. I understand that. I don't mind you embellishing it or
Okay.
sort of saying, yeah, it was this.
Yes,
because
sir.
the more I hear your voice, it works. But just for now, I want to prove it is your dad, okay? You mentioned the lung cancer, you've told me, but this is where I needed to be. And I just felt, I've got to say here, your dad also had, oh, who was Frank as well? I heard Frank being called with you. No? Okay. Ladies, do you understand Frank at all in spirit? No? Okay. Sometimes they're just trying to get through. It could even be a friend of a friend. And they go, oh, tell them this, tell them that.
My client might not be in the right place to acknowledge or accept that that person in the spirit world has come forward. So the spirit world will often give me information about the client's life and then step forward when my client is relaxed enough and open enough to receive.
Dad,
That would be my father-in-law.
Frank was your
Yeah,
father-in-law.
yeah.
Thank you.
The reason I charge is because people found out about what I do, and then they would ask me to spend time giving them a reading or helping them with certain situations or giving them guidance with finding a way in their life. And that takes time. And that time was eating into my day more and more and more. And initially I started doing it for nothing, and the queue was around the corner. The minute money comes into it, suddenly people don't want to pay for it. Not
I know I'm quite open-minded, not 100% sure what to expect. I mean, maybe my granddad. From my dad's side, that's the only, maybe my mum's Auntie Joan. Yeah, they're probably the only two people I know who aren't alive.
I'm just being joined by a lady here from the spirit world, and what I'm being made aware of, she feels like a grandmother to me. But can I ask, has your mother's mother passed?
No, my mother, no. Oh, my mother's mother, also no. My mum's Auntie Joan was kind of like her mum, so could be no.
Right. Can you recall any stories either from your mum or from anybody else? But do you know if Joan ever kept bees, or she was into her wildlife at all?
Most likely. I can't remember too much about her anymore, so
Right, okay.
possibly.
Well, where she's taking me as well, I'll tell you where I'm being taken. I'm being taken into the garden here, but I feel like I'm not too far away from the sea here, from the ocean. And I feel maybe she didn't live too far from there, from where she lived. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah. That would make
Okay.
sense. But he was a really lovely guy, and I think what he does is hopefully quite positive things for people.
The thing I like most about my work is connecting with people, helping people find solutions to their lives. The thing I least like about my work is sometimes the untold pressure that you put under. Because some people arrive and they only want to hear one thing, and if they don't hear that one thing, then you haven't done your job. And to me, they are missing out on so much, because there might be other things I pick up on that are connected in with the main issue in their life, and they are closed to everything else. So there is that pressure, and I call that expectation management when they arrive, but also psychic amnesia, because there are things, because when I do my work, you know, I'm downloading information directly from a higher source. I'm not sure if I know another profession where you have to constantly prove your credentials every single day with everybody you see, and that could be 8 or 10 times a day. So that's the pressure part, and that's where we sort of really earn our corner. Do I ever wish I never had this gift? I'd say no, I don't wish that I never had it. Therefore, I am glad I had it.